everybody, welcome to class today. Today we're going to do a full body stretch class. So top to toe, we're going to start standing and then we're going to make our way down to the floor. If you've got a strap, that would be great. I don't have one, forgot to bring one. You can always use a t-shirt or a towel or anything that you've got handy. So let's start at the top of the mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Close the eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then let go through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale, and this time shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And as you exhale, release. One more like that. Inhale, shrug the shoulders. And then exhale, release. And then start to breathe in and out through the nose, slowing the breath. And then open up through the eyes. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, bring the hands out in front of you. Take an inhale here to lengthen the hands away. And then as you exhale, start to reach the arms up and overhead. Only come up so far that you feel like you can keep your rib to hip connection. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're just going to move yourself over towards the left, getting a nice stretch through the right side body. Think of spiraling the chest open towards the right. Maybe gaze comes up if that's comfortable for you. Strong grounding through the right leg. Take an inhale, come through center. Exhale, release the hands down. Switch the interlacing of the fingers, move one finger over. Inhale, come to shoulder height. Take an exhale here. And then inhale, bring the hands all the way up and overhead. So it might be a little bit different. You might not be able to go as far with the funky interlace of the hands, and that's okay. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to side bend over to the right, grounding down strongly through the left leg, and then opening up the left side ribs. Gaze is wherever is comfortable. And inhale yourself back to center. Exhale, release. Interlace the fingers behind you. Take an inhale, broaden through the collarbones. And then as you exhale, start to fold yourself forward any amount, bending the knees as much as you need to. Hands can stay on the lower back or they can come up and overhead. And if you need to take a strap in between your hands, then feel free. Let the head be heavy here. Release any tension. And then start to straighten through the left leg, bend through the right leg. Take the hands over to the right, twist the body to the left, stretching through the left shoulder. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend the left leg, straighten through the right. Take the hands over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, dip the chest a little bit lower, stretch the arms a little bit further. And then as you inhale, release the hands, come into a halfway lift, stretching the chest forward. Taking a slight bend to the knees if you need to. And think of looping the shoulders back onto the back as you stretch the tailbone towards the back of your mat, the crown of your head towards the front. This is really good for opening up the upper spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, bring the arms to cactus, opening up through the chest, squeezing through the shoulder blades. Hold for one more breath. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Take the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, tall, and then exhale, bend over towards the left, gently drawing the right hand up and over. Inhale through center. Exhale, switch. Take the left wrist with the right hand. Bend over to the right. Gently lengthen through the tailbone to bring the stretch more into the side body. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, fold it all the way forward. Maybe straighten the legs a little bit more this time. Interlace the fingers again, and this time bring them to the back of the skull and just gently pulling down on the neck. So just a little bit of traction. You might feel an increased stretch in through the legs, and it might be nice to just alternately bend and straighten the knees, getting rid of some of the neural tension. And then on your next inhale, release the hands, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step your right leg all the way back. Exhale, drop the knee. And you can choose to stay here in a low lunge with the hands down, sinking the hips down as you reach the chest forward. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, hands can come to the front knee, or hands can sweep up and overhead. Wherever you are, think of sinking the hips as you rebound through the torso, so don't just dump into the pelvis. You're really active through your legs, drawing the back knee towards the front heel. And then we're going to take a side bend towards the left. So taking the left hand down, right arm up, inhale nice and long, and then exhale, keep the length as you start to bring the left hand towards the floor. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. Don't bend forward through the spine just to get the hand on the floor though. Make sure you keep the spine nice and long. Feeling a nice stretch in through the front of the right hip flexor. And then inhale, both arms sweep up. Exhale, start to shift the hips back. Flex through the front toe, come into a hamstring stretch. Gently draw the left hip back towards the back of the mat. You should feel an increase in the stretch. And then as you inhale, lengthen the chest forward, and then the exhales dip you a little lower. If you prefer, you can sink the hips all the way back to the heel if that feels more comfortable. And you can play around with turning your foot in and out. You'll feel different stretches in different muscles depending where you're tight. And then inhale, come back into your low lunge. Exhale, lift the knee. Inhale, reach the sternum forward. And then exhale, step the right leg to the front, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, drop the knee. Choose to stay here. Toes can be tucked or flat, or start to bring the hands up to the front thigh, or start to sweep the hands up and overhead. And gently drawing the front heel towards the back of the mat, and gently drawing the front knee forwards. And then we'll bend over towards the right. So take the right hand down, the left arm reaches tall on an inhale, and then as you exhale, keep the length as you start to side bend towards the right. Inhale, bring the hands up, and then exhale, take the hips back, straightening through the front leg, gently drawing the right hip back in line with the left. Inhale, reach the sternum forward. Exhale, fold a little deeper. You can always double over your mat under that stance knee if you need to. A little bit of extra padding. Inhale, shift it forward, low lunge. Exhale, lift the knee. Take an inhale here to reach the sternum forward. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, raise all the way up to standing. Exhale, cactus the arms, chest expansion. Inhale to raise. Exhale to fold. This time take the peace fingers, hook them around the big toes, feet are hips distance apart. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, reach the sternum forward, and then exhale, start to fold forward. Think of the crown of the head coming towards the floor. And relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Exhale here. Inhale, reach the sternum forward. Exhale, bring the hands back to a 45 degree. And then inhale, raise it all the way up into crescent pose. Hold for a couple of breaths to get your balance. Feet are hips distance, spine is long. And then as you inhale, you're going to take the left hand down, reach the right hand taller. And then as you exhale, take that side bend over towards the left. If you need to drop back down on the back knee, feel free. And feel free to take the left hand to the left hip for a bit of extra stability. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then as you exhale, you're just going to straighten through the front leg. Bring the hands down towards the floor. Feel free to have blocks there if you need to. Inhale, lengthen the sternum. And then exhale, start to fold. So the back heel is lifted. It probably won't touch the floor. And you're grounding down through the big toe side of the front leg. Thinking of sternum towards the foot. Feel free to play around with flexing the foot, lifting the toes off. Increases the stretch a bit. And then inhale, release to low lunge, reach the sternum forward. Exhale, step it forward, fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale here. Inhale, sternum forward. Exhale, float the hands back. Inhale, raise up crescent. Take a few breaths to get steady in your crescent. Gently draw the right hip back. Inhale, left arm high, right hand down. And then as you exhale, start to bend towards the right. And the same as with the previous pose, try not to collapse the chest forward. Try and keep the chest nice and wide. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, Straighten through the front leg, hands come down to the floor or blocks, bend the front knee as much as you need. Inhale, reach the sternum, exhale, fold. And feel free again to play around with lifting that front foot up. Inhale, come into low lunge. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. This time you're going to lift the feet up, slip the palms underneath the feet. So the palms are touching the soles of the feet. Bend the knees generously if you need to. Inhale, reach the sternum forward. And then exhale, gently pulling down towards the floor. So use the pressure of your feet to gently give a little bit of traction to your wrists. It's a nice little wrist stretch. A little bit of a hand massage. And then release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. And then this time as you exhale, you're going to pivot towards the long end of your mat. So both of your feet are going to swivel to the left. So if you've got knee problems or you're really tight in through your hips, you might be all the way up here or all the way up here, and that's fine. Otherwise, you bring your hands down to the floor to blocks, and you feel a really big stretch in through your right hip and your left inner thigh. Again, reaching the chest forward, and you can stay here with the hands on the floor, or you can bring your hands to heart center. For the moment, try and keep both feet flat on the floor. And then take the hands down. Come off the right heel if you need to, and you're going to turn the left toes up towards the floor. So again, if you're standing, it might look a little bit more like this. And then when you're here, if you can, take the hands to heart center. And if that went well, then take the right hand down towards the floor and start to sweep the left hand up towards the sky, gently using that right arm to nudge the knee open a little bit. And trying to keep that left knee pointing up towards the sky or ceiling. And then exhale, pivot yourself back into a low lunge on the right. Drop the left knee. Take a brief moment to stretch out through that right leg if you need to. And then come back to low lunge. Start to bend through your left leg. So you might need a strap around your back foot here and hold on to the strap. Otherwise, you're going to reach back for the inside edge of the left foot. Plant the left hand and then start to rotate open towards the right. If you have the flexibility, you can always come down onto the left forearm. And then slowly release. Inhale, lift the back knee. Take the right foot slightly over to the right. And then you're going to plant the left hand, start to rotate onto the outside edges of both feet, letting the right knee drop out. And then maybe stay here with both hands on the floor. Maybe you need to drop the back knee and just let the front hip fall out. Or maybe you take it into the full stretch with the right arm reaching back, gently sinking down into the hips. This is probably one of my favorite hip opener stretches. but some people really hate it. Try and keep your front ankle, in line with the knee, so don't just let the ankle kind of flop out. And then inhale, bring it all the way back to low lunge. Exhale, wherever you are, step forward, give the legs a little bit of a wiggle. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. And then as you exhale, this time you're going to pivot both of your feet to the right. So you're going to be in the opposite direction. I'm going to turn around and face you. So your left foot is grounded, your right foot is out to the side, and again you can be any level of depth here. Bringing the hands to heart center if you can. And then bringing the hands down, starting to lift through the left heel, right toes come up towards the sky. Stay here, or hands to heart center, or take the left hand down and start to sweep the right arm up towards the sky. And start to rotate yourself back towards that left leg, coming into a low lunge. Inhale here, and then exhale, drop the back knee. Grab your strap if you need it. Start to bend through the left leg. Plant the right hand, maybe it's on a block, and then reach back for the right foot, gently opening the torso towards the left. And then slowly releasing through the foot. Take the left foot slightly over to the left. Come off the back knee and then start to rotate onto the outside edges of the feet, letting the left knee drop out. Maybe keep that back knee down. Maybe keep both hands down, or reach the left hand for the back of the mat. And then inhale, bring yourself back to low lunge. And then exhale, step it all the way forward. Inhale, raise the hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to take standing pigeon. If you prefer, you can come down onto the floor and take reclined figure 4. Or you can be in a seated position where you cross the ankle over the knee. Or we're going to take it up in standing just to work on the balance a little bit. So if you're standing, you shift the weight to the left foot. Take the right ankle, cross it just above the knee, make a figure 4. And take the hands to heart center. And then you're going to start to sit yourself back into your chair. So you might take your hands down to the floor. I personally like to hook my elbows over my shin. Wherever you are, make sure that you keep that right ankle flexed, whether you're on your back, whether you're seated. And you can also use the elbow to gently push the knee towards the opposite foot, away from the body. Wherever you are, inhale, gently come out, and we'll switch sides. So we're going to cross the left ankle over the top of the right knee, and then either drawing the knees in towards the chest or starting to sink the hips back, depending what position you're in. Keeping a nice strong flex through the left ankle, and then maybe hooking the elbows over the knees. Maybe gently using the left elbow, whoopsies, to push the left knee away from you. And then inhale, bringing it all the way up. Come to the top of your mat. We're going to make our way down to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And then as you exhale, you're just going to step back to downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths in downward dog. Hands are shoulder distance, feet are hips distance. And the heels disappear behind the toes. Torso is long, so if you need to bend the knees to get more length in the torso, go for gold. And then exhale, dropping down onto the knees. We'll take puppy pose, so walk yourself towards the back of the mat. Keep the knees over the hips, and then just start to walk your hands forward any amount that's comfortable for you, and then start to sink the chest down towards the floor. So if this pose is not comfortable for you, you can always take child's pose. Wherever you are, think of reaching the hips back as you sink the chest towards the floor. And then from here, you're just going to snake yourself forward onto your forearms, and we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders, hands are like railroad tracks, and you're drawing the sternum forward through the gateway of your arms, strongly pressing into the top of the feet, gently drawing the tailbone down so that you can feel the pubic bone press into the floor and the lower belly lift. And then exhale, lower it all the way to the floor. Keep your left hand like a cactus. Bring your right hand prop up onto the fingertips and the elbow faces towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, peel the chest off, and then as you exhale, press into the right hand and rotate yourself towards the right. You should feel a really big stretch in through the front of your left shoulder. If that's not enough of a stretch, come down onto the palm of the right hand and then press again. It'll take you a little bit deeper. Inhale through center, and then plant the right hand like a cactus. Come up either onto the palm or the fingertips of the left hand. Inhale through center, and then exhale, drop the right shoulder, rotate over towards the left. Feeling a really nice big stretch in through the front of the right shoulder. And then inhale yourself through center. Bring your left arm off to capital T. Plant your right hand as if you're going to do a push-up. Bend the right knee. Inhale, lift the right knee off. And then as you exhale, you're going to rotate yourself over so that the right foot comes towards the left hand. So you might stop at any point along that journey. Your foot might not get to the floor, and that's fine. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then you're going to take it to the other side. So bring the right arm off to capital T. Bend the left knee up. Inhale, lift the left knee. And then as you exhale, press through that left hand to gently start to take the left foot over the body. If this is too much for you, just keep the arms straight and just rotate the torso. That's fine. You don't need to add the leg. And then bring yourself back through center. And make your way up to a seated position, nice and slowly. Brush all the dirt off your mat. Alright, so we're going to come into a hip opener pose. So, you can take a number of hip openers. If you're really tight through your hips, you might have a cushion underneath you, and you might just come into Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Otherwise, we're going to take Gomukhasana, cow face pose today. So you'll keep your right leg on the bottom, take the right ankle by the left butt cheek, and then you're going to take the left foot and cross it over the right. So you're aiming to stack your knees on top of each other. They might not be anywhere near close there, and that's fine. If you're really, really uneven through your pelvis, you might find that sitting yourself up with a bolster more to one side might help to even it out. Wherever you are, you want to keep active through the feet, and the more parallel you make your feet to the front of the mat, the more intense you'll feel the stretch. So you can stay upright here, or you can start to crawl yourself forward. If you want to come into full cow face pose, you're going to take the right hand, reach it up and overhead, maybe grab your strap in the right hand, and then take the left arm, reach it underneath, and you're grabbing for the fingers. Stay here. If you're already starting to round through your spine, just open up your shoulders here, but otherwise you can start to fold forward. Trying to keep a nice even grounding through both hips. And then inhale, slowly release, and we'll take it over to the other side. So you're either going to cross your legs with the opposite leg in front, or you're going to take the left heel by the right butt cheek, and then you're going to cross the right leg over. Try and stack through the knees, and then bring the feet forward any amount that feels like an adequate stretch for you. So you want it to feel like a stretch, you don't want it to be painful. And then you can stay here, lean forward, or take the left hand, maybe with your strap, and then reach the right hand back for the left hand. So you can always use your t-shirt or your crop top or your ponytail or whatever to get the extra length if you need to. And try and square the shoulders towards the front of the mat, maybe leaning forward if you have the mobility. And then slowly release. Unwind yourself. And then bring the legs out in front of you. And we'll take Paschimottanasana. So you can either have your feet hips distance, you can have your feet together, wherever they are. Keep your feet nice and active towards you. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, fold forward any amount. So you might grab your feet, your calves, your knees, wherever you are. Think of inhale, lengthen the chest, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. And then inhale, bring it all the way up. And then make your way onto your back. We'll finish in Supta Baddha Konasana. So come to lying down on your back. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall wide. Take one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly. And we'll take one more nice deep inhale through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. Please stay here, resting in Shavasana for as long as you feel the need. Today, as you go forward, may you have focus in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and gratitude in your heart. Namaste.